Now, a couple thoughts from me. My riff tonight, it's a quick riff. Who is the best candidate to defend American democracy? Well, it's not Joe Biden. Biden and his lawfare allies have launched a legal campaign to tie up Donald Trump in court. Actually, out of court, with gag orders, even putting him in the Supreme Court, where his immunity plea is finally getting a fair hearing. The Alvin Bragg trial in New York is a farce. People can't even decide what the charges are. And the charges change from day to day and week to week. Non-disclosure agreements are perfectly legal. Candidate Trump in 2016 was spending his own personal funds. Money didn't even transfer until 2017, well after the election. The Jack Smith special may never come to pass because Trump may well win his immunity argument. And the Fani Willis Atlanta RICO election charges have completely been discredited, as she has. And then the classified documents trial in South Florida is going to go on for quite some time, if it ever comes to fruition at all. But Biden is the Democratic candidate, will use every legal and political maneuver to block his primary opponent, Mr. Donald Trump. Biden is misusing his office, and people see that more and more. Folks should have a read, by the way, of Kim Strassel's excellent Wall Street Journal piece today, not only about the phony two-tiered lawfare jihad against Trump, but also the point that without any congressional statutory mandate, the Biden administration is unilaterally invalidating 30 million non-compete contracts in business. Then the FCC wants to take over the internet again with a failed net neutrality rule. Then energy agencies have taken 13 million Alaskan acres out of use. Then the EPA wants to shut down coal, oil, natural gas, and gasoline-powered automobiles. Joe Biden's the biggest regulator in the history of regulations. So far, roughly $1.5 trillion of cost. Donald Trump cut 7 regs for every one that was promulgated. That's a big difference, isn't it? Now, necessarily, all the Biden regs will be thrown out in court, according to the Supreme's decision, EPA versus West Virginia, where EPA lost. Meanwhile, the economy is now moving to a stagflation phase with very high personal costs plaguing the middle class, while real hourly wages, which were $11.40 when Mr. Biden was inaugurated, have dropped down to only $11.11. That's for recent numbers. I mean, that's for 3.5 years, working folks have lost money under Biden. All this, the trials, the rules, the regulations, the loss of real wages, all this is why polls showed Trump in the lead, especially in the swing states. Why? Because ordinary working folks, the backbone of this country, are smart, not dumb, all right? The Bidens think they're dumb. The Bidens think they can fool people, but that's why they don't understand what's gone wrong. But for ordinary folks, hard-working, middle-class folks, they know what's good for them, their self-interest, and what's good for the country. And by the way, that idea that people are smart, not dumb, is the basis of the success of free market capitalism. And then, finally, you know what, Mr. Alvin Bragg here in New York? Guess what? Donald Trump is closing in on Joe Biden, even in this far-left, blue state of New York. Just think of it, Mr. Bragg. Anyway, that's my riff. I said it was going to be short.